Good morning, dear hearts, and congratulations because we're starting the third relevant thought in part 2 of the workbook, What is the World? Please subscribe, and I will do a couple of the paragraphs of this third relevant thought, and then go into today's actual lesson. So please subscribe, and let's just get started. I mentioned yesterday that yesterday's lesson weaves perfectly into this new relevant thought of what is the world. The first sentence in What is the World says, the world is false perception. Yesterday's lesson in the first part of it, the text portion, said not one thing in this world is true. Not one thing in this world is true. This world is false perception. It's born of error, and it has not left its source because an idea never does leave its source, which is why we, being an idea from the mind of God, have never left our source. This world, it will remain no longer than the thought that gave it birth is cherished. Not the thought that created it, but the thought that gave it birth, the thought that made it is cherished. As long as we cherish something, as long as we believe in our mind, our ego mind, that something is going to be worth something to us, whatever that object is, if we think it's going to have some value for it, I will not value what is valueless will play into here, but as long as the thought that gave this world, made this world is cherished, this world will remain. When the thought of separation has been changed to one of true forgiveness, and true forgiveness will really bring us to salvation, our previous thought, will the world be seen in quite another light, and one which leads to truth. Truth is true and nothing else is true, where all the world must disappear and all errors vanish. Because it will lead us to truth, illusions and truth do not cohabitate. They're never going to be roommates, is I think one of the things I've said in the past. So when the true forgiveness leads us to truth, all of the world, which is a false perception and cannot be with truth, will simply disappear. It's not really going to be corrected because that would indicate that it lived, it was, and needed healing. It was never real. So we don't want to give it reality. It will simply disappear. Just as it once showed up, now it will simply disappear. And all errors vanish. They vanish. They were never real to begin with. The world, the errors, the mistakes, the illusions, the smoke and mirrors, the dreams never really existed. Now, its source, the source of this world, is gone, and its effects are gone as well. The cause has disappeared. The effects have no meaning. Poof, they're all gone. The world, the second paragraph, the world was made as an attack on God. It is that tiny mad idea when that thought of separation, the thought of separation was the attack on God. It symbolizes fear. So the attack on God was, well, I'm the ego thought, because in that moment, that tiny mad idea, this is where the ego came forward. I'm going to make a world that's better than God's. It was the attack on God that made this world. It symbolizes fear. This world symbolizes fear. And what is fear except, this is beautiful, love's absence. Fear is only the absence of love and nothing else. Thus, the world was meant to be a place where God could enter not, and where his Son could be apart from him rather than knowing that he is a part of him. Here was perception born, for knowledge could not cause such insane thoughts. But eyes deceive and ears hear falsely. Now mistakes become quite possible, for certainty has gone. Certainty, knowledge is of God. God is very certain, as in our two previous lessons, several previous lessons actually, not just the last two in the previous section, would tell us, how certain God is of us, how much he trusts and loves his child, how he knows that we are a part of him and trusts us with the care of his beloved child, his son. But the senses of the body are senses without any sense. They make no sense. Our eyes deceive us and our ears don't really hear. We misconstrue and misinterpret everything in this world because I have given everything I see in this world all the meaning that it has for me. That's where I'm going to stop with what is the world. We're going to go to today's lesson, which is 241. This holy instant is salvation come. Salvation is here now in this holy instant. And that is where we will find salvation, in the holy instant. The holy instant is that moment that I am here now, and I recognize both myself and my brother as the one that we truly are. What joy there is today. It is a time of special celebration, for today holds out the instant to the darkened world where its release is set. We're setting this world free. Salvation sets this world free. One of the synonyms that I use for salvation is indeed freedom, okay? Because some people don't like the word salvation. It can be a trigger, but freedom doesn't trigger anyone. We all know that we are meant to be free. So the darkened world where its release is set. The day has come when sorrows pass away and pain is gone, because salvation is come. Salvation is here. Everything has been healed. The glory of salvation dawns today upon a world set free as it is meant to be. This is the time of hope for countless millions, for the entire sonship, which there's really only one of us, but we perceive many. Now we perceive millions of us, all of us brothers and sisters, all of us are one together. All of us, the children of our Father, they will be united now as you forgive them all, for I will be forgiven by you today. Our brother knows that today, in this holy instant, forgiveness has happened, and all of the grievances, all of the judgments, all of the small-minded thoughts, all of the anger, all of the fear thoughts have been eradicated. We have all been forgiven. And in that forgiveness, we find salvation. And in that holy instant of salvation, all of us are free to know the truth of who we are. So today we join as one brother, because one is all. And how I see my brother is how I will view and see the world, and of course, myself. The second part of the lesson today is in prayer. We have forgiven one another now, and so we come at last to you again. Father, your Son, who never left, returns to heaven and his home. How glad are we to have our sanity restored to us, and to remember that we are all one. All are one. There is only one. That the one number, the only number that is prevalent throughout the entire course. One mind, one brother, one love, one life. One is all, and we are all one again today. And at the end, right now, I just want to mention I was guest on a podcast with Jenna Jake Friedman, and it's called Soul Streaker, and you can find it wherever you get your podcasts. So I hope this helped, and I hope you listen to the podcast. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, please smile, and please be here tomorrow. Namaste.